Thanks. Typical support thing.
63% of men in the United States are single, in comparison to 34% of their female counterparts. And it's not just relationships. Men aren't really having sex altogether. In a study conducted on males ages 8
First of all, we can talk about that. We can talk about the fact that, like,
63% of
I mean, these are heterosexual couples, right? So you would need to have
men in the United
the
States
same
are
number.
single, in comparison.
Like you would need, like, for like, this is demonstrates that whoever these women are with, at least some of them are with the same man, right? Like it's like they're not in a proper like monogamous relationship, right?
Into 34% of their female counterparts. And it's not just relationships. Men aren't really having sex altogether. In a study conducted on males ages 18 to 24, sexual inactivity increased from 19 to 31% between the years of 2002 and 2018. But before I get into the 6 points as to why this is happening, let's take a 50,000-foot view of the situation and look at why people do or don't do certain things. Neurologically speaking, every action that humans take is either to pursue pleasure or avoid pain. So if a large group, particularly men in this situation, are abstaining from relationships, it's probably because they're chasing something that they perceive to be as better, or avoiding the stress and challenges that relationships can bring. To zoom back in, we need
Wait. Do you get that? So I guess people believe that on some level or something. There's some argument for that from neurologists that everything we do is either to avoid or to increase pleasure or to decrease pain or something. Men are cooked in the day. I don't know if this is true though either. There's this narrative out there, and there's some evidence for it, I suppose, and statistics and stuff. I'm not sure if they. I think they might be kind of exaggerating it. Like it seems to be like this problem of men can't find women and all this stuff. Well, a lot of it's because or the problem seems to affect men who are constantly online. It's like the people who are constantly online and constantly like you know doing this kind of stuff. Those are the ones that it's affecting. It seems like. Yeah, I know. That's what I don't like about that whole mentality. But I think there is some arguments from the neurology people that about that. But there's a lot of that in our brain, but I don't think that's all we pursue things because there's a consciousness thing, right? The thing is, our consciousness seems to be like above the physical brain. There's something more to the human person than just the brain,
what's
right?
happening. Let's take a 50,000-foot view of the situation and look at why people do or don't do certain things. Neurologically speaking, every action that humans take is either to pursue pleasure or avoid pain. So if a large group, particularly men in this situation, are abstaining from relationships, it's probably because they're chasing something that they perceive to be as better, or avoiding the stress and challenges that relationships can bring. To zoom back in, we need to explore the societal motivators that are pushing 63% of men to remain single. So in this video, I'm going to go over the 6 key factors that are contributing to this overall trend. Let's get into it. Which brings me to my first point. Let's start with something that's been quietly affecting millions of men for years: low testosterone. Now, testosterone isn't just about muscles and aggression. It's critical for sex drive, mood, and overall energy. Imagine a young man in his early 20s who, despite being physically healthy, struggles with low energy and a lack of interest in intimacy. He might not recognize that his testosterone levels are at an all-time low. And it's not just him. This is happening to millions of men across the country. Studies have shown that testosterone levels in men have been declining for decades, with a significant drop observed in men as young as 25. And low testosterone can lead to decreased libido, contributing to the overall lack of interest in sexual intimacy. Low testosterone levels can also significantly impact men's mental health, affecting mood, cognition.
I wonder if all this stuff, the low test argument, right? I suppose that's supposed to be like some kind of like hardcore science. I don't know. Is that really that well established? Like, I don't know. Maybe it is. I wonder if that's just another like thing to make us freak us out and stuff. Uh, testosterone placement. Sorry, guys. I just want to see if this is actually a thing or if we're just being hoodwinked here. I mean, obviously, I've heard about this, but I'm just wondering. Sometimes I wonder if they just, because sometimes they make up stuff, like the whole thing of climate change, for instance, right? This is so dumb. Yeah, porn is a major thing. Porn is a problem. I do think porn is a problem for young men, but I don't think it's the problem that they're making it out to be. Estimates of the prevalence of low testosterone vary. Some suggest that about 2% of people, AMAB, may have. So see that says 2%, right? 2%. But the way that woman was talking, right? It almost sounds like all the young men have low testosterone. Oh, the testosterone's been going down for decades. We're in big trouble, guys. The whole population. But this says to 2% have low testosterone. Maybe. But others estimate that up to 50% of men over 80 years old. Yeah, well, if they're over 80 years old, of course. Of course they're gonna have low or probably or whatever. Who cares? 80 years old, they're gonna die anyway just now, right? But none of these statistics has any bearing on like most of us. But the way these people make it sound all the time is they act like it's like everybody has low test, our whole society's gonna collapse. The young men are never gonna get married. Oh no. But really, they're just panicking. They're just freaking us out for nothing. But let me see this. Age, testosterone. Oh, can you guys read that? It's maybe hard to read, eh? Hang on a sec. That's too small. Anyway, age. Testosterone production declines in middle age, and low testosterone levels are more common in older men. For example, more than 60% of men over age 65 have free. Yeah, who cares, though? We don't care about that. We're talking about the young men. Why aren't the young men getting married or whatever? Low testosterone can lead to a decrease in energy. I don't know, man. Look, I don't know. Like I always hear all these statistics about how the testosterone levels been going down. All the men in the West they have low testosterone or whatever. But like, if you think about it, man, it doesn't add up. And they don't have any look. None of this stuff is even saying anything like that. But what they do is they present the stats. The way she said it, the way she said it, it sounds like all the young men are having low test, and we got to save the young men. We got to get them some testosterone right now, you know. But they're just they're trying to make you freak out about nothing. But the other thing is that anyway, whatever. The point is, don't when these people say these things, like don't just believe them. Okay, just always remember that a lot of times it's just a bunch of yappery, and they don't really even look up their stats or anything. No, because this is what I'm saying, bro. This is what I'm trying to say, man. This is what they're trying to do. They're trying to create this thing in your mind where you think that our society is gonna collapse, guys. The dollar, the debt, the national debt. There's gonna be a World War III and nukes, and there's gonna be a nuclear war and all this stuff. They want to make you think that society is gonna collapse, that a disaster is right around the corner, and that you're not man enough, you don't have enough testosterone, and if you didn't have sex yet, oh, you're probably just like you're a nerd. You should become like a weebo or whatever they call those people, and those type of things, right? But it's not. It's just a bunch of like propaganda to mess with our heads, and it's not true. Anyway, look. Now she's gonna go on. Now she's gonna go on and on. Like we just established. Look, hold on. Oh, sorry. We just established that her whole thing that she was saying about like about testosterone before was just a bunch of like bad statistics and just ridiculous, right? But then now she's gonna go on and on about this for the next 5 minutes about how low testosterone is such a big problem and stuff. Millions of men, millions of men. There's 335 million men in America, or something like that. It's like a lot of men, or sorry, the whole population is like 300 million, right? But like, let's say there's 150 million men in America. So if you say there's millions of men in America, excuse me, with low testosterone, that's true. Because if it's 2%, if it's 2% of the population has low testosterone, as we saw here. Oh, sorry. Was I just showing you that the screen, guys, or was I just like showing you some other thing? Oh, I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm sorry. My bad. But I was gonna come back to the screen anyway. So back on this screen now. What we can see here is that it's only 2% of men in America that are actually having low testosterone, okay? Or 2% of people or whatever. It doesn't even say men, it says people. So there's women have low testosterone too sometimes, right? So it's not just men. And then they say others estimate that 50% of men over 80 years old. Like, who cares, right? But anyway, my point is just this. When we go back to this now, and she's trying to say, this woman's trying to say that, oh, it's like millions and millions of men. Well, yeah, 2% of the 300 million people in America is millions and millions of people. Yes, we get that. But that's nothing. That's not like a thing to make you feel any kind of way. It's nothing. It's literally nothing, right? But they're trying to make you think this is some big thing you need to panic over and all this stuff.
Have shown
Weird.
that testosterone levels in men have been declining for decades, with a significant drop observed in men as young as 25. And low testosterone can lead to decreased libido, contributing to the overall lack of interest in sexual intimacy. Low testosterone levels can
Oh no,
also
sorry, brother.
significantly impact men's mental health, affecting mood, cognition, and overall psychological well-being. Testosterone is a hormone that plays crucial levels in lots of bodily functions. And when testosterone levels drop, it can lead to a wide array of negative impacts. Some of these things from a psychological level I'm going to outline here. Depression is one of the
Again. So what she's trying to explain. So this video is trying to explain or something or discuss the issue that 63% of all young men, 63% of all the young men in the whole of America are single, and this is some kind of perceived as a problem, right? So she's going to try to explain that, but now she's going to go into this whole big thing about low test, when we know that low test is only suffered by 2% of the entire population, which includes women as well. So this whole conversation, right, that she's having right now is just dumb.
Common psychological issues when it comes to low testosterone levels in men. Study after study has shown that men with low testosterone levels tend to experience massive symptoms of depression. This includes persistent sadness, loss of interest in their activities, and feelings of hopelessness.
Again. So that's the problem for 2% of the American population, according to the statistics that we just saw. But she's acting like this is a problem for the 63% of young men that are single. But it's not. This is not a problem for the 63% of young men. This is not even an issue for them, according to the statistics that we saw on the other page. Now, we can look at maybe those statistics are dumb too, but they're probably better than whatever she's saying. And yeah, man, I know exactly. Well, I think it is maybe. Well, if there is a high level of depression, if there is some high level of depression in my young men, I'm not sure if there is. There might be. If there is, then I doubt low test is an issue or a contributing factor to that. I would agree with you there. But if somebody does suffer from low test, then they will often suffer from depression. All men are becoming sissies because they're not eating raw meat and drinking pure raw milk when they yeah, man. And they should go and like kill an animal at least once a year and drink its blood. And then, that's just a thing that every man should do. And then they'll have manliness.
Testosterone is thought to influence neurotransmitters in the brain, such as serotonin, which plays a critical role in overall mood regulation. Low testosterone can also lead to increased levels of anxiety, and men with low test will experience heightened levels of stress, which can exacerbate the feelings of unease and worry. A study published in the Journal of Endocrinology and Metabolism found that men with low testosterone levels were more likely to be diagnosed with depression.
This doesn't say low testosterone. This says borderline, which is not low. It's borderline, right? There's a difference. But furthermore, actually, you know what, guys? I'm sorry. Actually, I didn't realize how dumb this video was. I saw like 5 minutes of it, and I thought it was cool because I saw that she had the other one for the women, and so that was the thing that I kind of thought was interesting. But now that I'm actually taking a close look at this, I realize that this woman is like completely ridiculous. But maybe because you know what, she made this video, which kind of blames it all on men, and then like a month later, she made the one about women. So I think what happened was she made this one, she got a bunch of flack for it, and then she made the other one. But this is dumb. Like her whole argument is just terrible. She doesn't understand how to do statistics or anything. She just this is wicked.
And as far as a solution, while testosterone replacement therapy has become more and more popular. The second thing we have to look at is cognitive function and how low T impacts this. Low testosterone has been linked with overall cognitive decline, including issues with memory, attention, and overall executive function. Men with low test often experience symptoms of brain fog, which is categorized with symptoms.
Again, she has shown you no evidence whatsoever, not even one shred of evidence that low test is a problem for young men. She has not shown you even one bit of evidence. And I understand this narrative in our society right now, like, oh, there's low test problems, and we have a fraction of the testosterone of the 1950s men or whatever. It's like, look, man, okay, maybe whatever, but I'm telling you, bro, these people are making this thing into this bigger thing than it is. It's like a lot of things that they do, right? Like just like kind of climate change and all these things that they talk about. It's just a bunch of foolishness, and they make you act. They make it act like they act like it's such a big deal, and then they present all this stuff like it sounds like so scientific, it's so scholarly and stuff, but it's so dumb.
Like difficulty concentrating, poor memory, and slower processing speed. And some research suggests that lower testosterone levels also increase the risk for Alzheimer's disease. Although more research is absolutely needed for this, it's important to understand the impact from a overall well-being and psychological executive functioning position when it comes to this problem that we're seeing with men all over the country. Regarding this line,
Yeah, like what does she mean? What is she talking about? So she's trying to say that okay, I don't know what she's trying to say. This stupid video is supposed to explain the 63% of young men that are single, right? That's what she's supposed to be trying to do or discuss or something. And somehow she managed to turn this into the discussion of low testosterone, and which she thinks is like this major problem for men all across America, even though she's shown no evidence of this. And then now she's trying to say that low test leads to all these other things, like low cognitive whatever and all these other things. And she's trying to make you think that that's something that all men are suffering from. Is that what she's trying to say right now? Like, do you know how dumb this is? This is not even. It's not just dumb. It's like it's like irresponsible to make arguments like this because people will get the wrong thing in their head and have a misunderstanding of what's going on. This is bad. This is bad journalism. This is terrible. This is terrible.
Testosterone does have neuroprotective effects, and so a deficiency in testosterone, well, that makes you more susceptible to losing your mind. Another critical impact when it comes to testosterone is the impact that it has on overall motivation. Low testosterone levels are often associated with high levels of fatigue. And if men who are known to be ambitious and highly productive are struggling with low energy levels, well, not only does it tank their motivation, but it tanks their self-esteem. Men with low test might experience really high levels of fatigue even after getting plenty of sleep. And this can lead them to further isolation as they don't even feel.
Yeah, I've heard the raw milk thing is pretty good actually. I don't know too much about the raw milk issue, but I mean, I like the taste of it. I think it's nice. It's been a long time since I had that. When I was in Guyana, we drink that, but I don't know.
Motivated or inclined to engage in daily activities. In this over a long enough time horizon, well, it will impact things like work, relationships, and overall quality of life. Now, you might be wondering, what does this have anything to do with relationships?
This one has like a mustache, man. Is that just me? Or am I seeing things or what? Bizarre, dude. Her eyebrows are totally drawn in too. So weird.
Well, men with low testosterone also experience elevated levels of irritability and increased emotional instability. And this can manifest itself as increased anger, frustration, or mood swings. Yes, men have mood swings too. And this will lead to overall further isolation and complete social withdrawal. And when testosterone levels in men are low, men find themselves more prone to emotional outbursts or difficulty managing stress and overall negative emotion. And if you play this out over a long enough time horizon, well, this will absolutely impact men's self-esteem and overall confidence.
Okay,
When
like, look, dude, this is so dumb because think about what's going on here, right? First, she's trying to say that. First of all, we already know that okay, it's a very small fraction of anyone who's suffering from low testosterone, right? And then even among those people, only a percentage of those people suffer from these symptoms that she's talking about. Like not everyone with low test has all these symptoms. But she's trying to use this low test idea, which is only like 2% of the population has this thing. And then only some of those people are going to suffer these symptoms. She's trying to use that as the argument for why 63% of all young men in the whole country are single. Like it's just so foolish. Like doesn't make any sense.
testosterone
Dude.
levels in men drop, they tend to experience a decrease in self-worth. And this can lead to feelings of inadequacy or further feelings of insecurity. And this will absolutely impact their ability to go out and have social interactions. And it definitely stifles their willingness to pursue new opportunities. And due to the low self-esteem and lower confidence as they continue to withdraw, it's
Nah, because you know what happens, man? Like, cause they I don't know, they try to freak you out about like bacteria or whatever. I don't know, man. I've had milk right out of the cow, dude. In Guyana, you know, 'cause they live like my grandpa had like a farm out there, and it's fine. It's totally fine. It's good for you. Nothing wrong with it. It tastes delicious.
new opportunities and social interactions, and it definitely stifles their willingness to pursue new opportunities. And due to the low self-esteem and lower confidence as they continue to withdraw, it's going to further exacerbate the feelings of isolation and loneliness. And this will then
No,
negatively
but
impact
see what her argument is. Her argument is that apparently she thinks that most young or there's some like high percentage of young men that are suffering from low testosterone. And so if they have low testosterone, then some fraction of them are going to have depression and these other symptoms that she was talking about before. But not all of them, right? We understand it. But she's trying to make the case that this is the reason why 63% of young men are single. I hope you guys understand how dumb this argument is. This is next level dumb.
go out and
This
have
is what
social
people do.
interactions, and it definitely stifles their willingness to pursue new opportunities. And due to the low self-esteem and lower confidence as they continue to withdraw, it's going to further exacerbate the feelings of isolation and loneliness. And this will then negatively impact their overall mental state and well-being. And this concept around men's testosterone and self-esteem isn't just my opinion. A study in psychoneuroendocrinology, I know, what a word, found that men with lower testosterone levels self-report lower self-esteem and confidence. Research also shows that
Wait,
testosterone
what? Wait.
opinion.
This
A
is foolish
study in
one. So this is talking about, again, this is self-reporting. Oh man, this is so dumb. This is next level dumb. But anyway, like I said to you, man, 2% of the American population suffers from low testosterone. 2%. That includes women, because women can suffer from that too. So this is not a contributing factor to the 63% of young men that are single. This low testosterone thing, is not a factor. Okay, I'm sorry. This is dumb. This is next level dumb.
psychoneuroendocrinology, I know, what a word, found that men with lower testosterone levels self-report lower self-esteem and confidence. Research also shows that testosterone levels in men can fluctuate in response to social and sexual interactions. And this can happen in various ways. Testosterone levels in men can elevate when they are in competitive or dominant social situations, especially when interacting with women. For example, studies have shown that men's testosterone levels increase when they are competing for attention or when they perceive themselves to be winning in a social situation. Conversely, testosterone levels can decrease if a man perceives himself to be less dominant or loses in a competitive situation. And I want you to remember this point because it will be important later on. Next, we have to touch on the impact
think
of
about how
romantic
dumb that is now too. Like you see how dumb this is. This is why I hate psychology. And I'm not saying all psychology arguments are this dumb, but a lot of them do tend to take on this kind of character because now what she's saying or what she just said there was that it's so dumb. It's so dumb because first, we've already established that her whole thing is if like all the young men have low testosterone, That's not true. We've already established that. And now she's saying that just the idea of a man in a situation where he's kind of where he feels like he's not the most powerful, that can lower his testosterone, which could, in her mind or whatever, in her argument or whatever she's trying to make people believe, that will cause them to have those symptoms that she was saying before, which again, not everyone with low test has those symptoms. But this is so retarded what this woman is saying right now. But anyway, whatever. I guess I guess this is what I should expect from just picking some random YouTube channel and watching it. But anyway,
perceives himself to be less dominant or loses in a competitive situation. And I want you to remember this point because it will be important later on. Next, we have to touch on the impact of romantic relations and men's testosterone levels. Men often experience a temporary increase in testosterone production when they are interacting with a potential partner or someone they find attractive. This is
just a very small thing, right? It happens just in the moment. It's not like something that affects your whole endocrinology and you need to like this is some big factor in how you behave and all this stuff. That's not what that is, right? It's just that when a man like interacts with a woman that he finds sexually attractive, they'll usually see this little spike in the testosterone or something like that. That's all it is. That's all it is. What this whole argument is so dumb. The fact that she started on this is her first point. Her first like major thing in her argument is the testosterone thing, but this is just ridiculous.
part of a natural physiological response that prepares the body for potential mating opportunities. Interestingly, though, once men actually enter into a committed relationship, their testosterone levels may decrease, and this decrease is thought to promote caregiving behaviors, which are beneficial long term in the context of that relationship. But relative to this topic, this isn't really happening. So while there is evidence that men's testosterone levels do decline once they get into a relationship, men aren't actually getting in relationships. Now, obviously, engaging in sexual activity can increase testosterone levels. The anticipation of sex, as well as the act itself, has been shown to boost testosterone levels in men acutely.
Look, dude, look, this woman doesn't understand. The testosterone thing is not a factor here. Okay, I'm telling you guys right now. I mean, look, let's look at this. Look, I'm done listening to this foolish woman. So let's look at some of these testosterone things a little bit more. Let's find out some more about this thing. All right, Cleveland Clinic. Let's see Cleveland Clinic. Or we can look at this National Institute of Health. Well, maybe they got higher stats. All right. Let's see what National Institute of Health. These people are shills, but prevalence of symptomatic androgen deficiency in men. Androgen, not like testosterone is not the only androgen, but it's the most important one. Despite oh, sorry, you guys, I'm not even sharing the tab, right? Anyway, this is the article. Prevalence of symptomatic androgen deficiency in men. Sorry, yeah, thanks, Gracie. God bless, brother. Oh, sir. Okay. Despite recognition, you guys read that? Despite recognition that androgen deficiency in men should be defined according to biochemical and clinical criteria, most prevalence estimates are based on low testosterone levels alone. Yeah, you see, low testosterone is not that's not the same as low androgens, right? Because there's other androgens and stuff, you know. Androgen, like andra means men in Greek, and gen means like to give birth to or to make or to become something. So androgen is like this thing that makes the man, you know. There's like testosterone and there's other things like that. Like I don't even know them all. There's like I don't know really much about them at all, but anyway, let's read this. The objective of this study was to examine the association between symptoms of androgen deficiency and low total and calculated free testosterone levels and estimate the prevalence of symptomatic androgen deficiency in men. Okay. Total of 1,475. Outcomes were measured. As symptomatic androgen deficiency defined as low total and free testosterone plus presence of low libido, erectile dysfunction, osteoporosis or fracture, 2 or more of the following symptoms: sleep disturbance, depressed mood, lethargy, or diminished physical performance. Results: mean age of the sample 12 to 47. Approximately 24% of subjects had total testosterone less than 300, and 11% of subjects had free testosterone less than 5%. 24% less than 300. But I mean, thing is, just saying you're less than 300 doesn't mean you have some problematic level of low test, because some people have more androgen receptors and other people have less androgen receptors. So then in those people, like, so say you have less androgen receptors, that's the things that can take in these androgens, right? If you have less of those, then even if you have high testosterone, it doesn't really affect because you don't have enough receptors to take it in. And other people have, so it's like the mere fact that you have, so like less than 300 or whatever. I don't think 300 is even that bad. But anyway, let's keep going here. Low testosterone levels were associated with symptoms, but many men with low testosterone levels were asymptomatic. See, that's the other thing. Many men with low testosterone levels, what they're defining as low test, which again, it's not that good of a definition in my opinion. But whatever, let's just agree with them for now. Let's just say that is a low testosterone level. But many men with low testosterone are asymptomatic. That's like what that lady was saying. Remember the other lady was trying to say that, oh, look at all these symptoms you could get. You could get all these symptoms, but then a lot of people don't even get that. And then crude prevalence of symptomatic androgen deficiency was 5.6%. 5.6% with symptomatic androgen deficiency. So 5.6% of these men, right? They look, this is the thing. They don't even prove that they have low test. These 5% of these men. What they're saying here is that they seem to have lower test than the 300 nano gigaliters or nano liters or whatever the thing was. And then they also had those symptoms. So they had the symptoms and they seem to have had like some low androgen possibly. So then they're counting those people as low test people. You know what I'm saying? But once again, they don't really have any real definite evidence that these people are low test, because to really establish that somebody's low test, you have to do more than just measure how much testosterone they have in their blood. You have to check their androgens. There's other factors there. You can't just go, oh yeah, he's got 300 nanoliters, so that means he's low test. You know what I mean? Prevalence is low in men less than 70 years, and increasingly marked with age to 18.4% among 70-year-olds. Yeah, obviously, if you're over 70, you're going to have more low test people. Projection of these estimates to the year 2025 suggests there will be as many as 6.5 million American men ages 30 to 79 with symptomatic androgen deficiency, an increase of 38% from 2000 population estimates. So, okay, let's think about this now. Now, look, first of all, they didn't do a very, very thorough or very systematic analysis of these men in their care here. All right. They just kind of, they have this kind of, it's like a stand-in. They've established these parameters, and they're like standing in for what they're going to call low test. Okay. So once they've established that now, and then they're making this estimate, they're kind of projecting like if these people all have low test, which they have not proven, but they're going to assume that if these people all have low test, and if we project these estimates into the future, then that means that by 2025, I guess next year, there will be as many as 6.5 million American men ages between 30 and 79 with symptomatic androgen deficiency, an increase of 38%. But think about this, 6.5 million American men. Now, look, what I'm telling, first of all, remember that this projection and these statistics are not that well proven or well established. That's the first thing, okay? The second thing is that 6.5 million American men in a population of, let's say, 150 million American men, right? Let's just say that to be conservative, right? That means that 6.5 million is about like, it's like 5% maximum. It's not even 5%. And it's 5% of men from 30 to 79. So not the young men we were talking about in the video. And also at 79, like, come on, man. Like, and how many of these guys are actually in that bracket? They're most of these guys are actually in that bracket from 65 to 79 or something. Like, you know what I mean? So this whole thing is like, but this is how they use statistics to freak people out. And it's the same thing that woman was doing too, Anyway. The aging of the U.S. male population will cause a large increase in the burden of symptomatic androgen deficiency. Future work should address the clinical significance of low testosterone levels in asymptomatic men. If they're asymptomatic, that means they have no symptoms. So some guys might have low test and it doesn't affect them at all. Like I say, maybe a guy has low test, but he has lots of androgen receptors, and then it won't affect him at all because just the little bit of testosterone he has is enough because he has all these receptors. So it doesn't it's just like I can't even tell you guys how much of a dumb arguments. But I don't know. These guys aren't that bad because they're not trying to freak you out. But that woman, and most of the people, most of the time when you hear this type of rhetoric about thanks, brother. Thank you very much for that statistic. That's useful. But yeah, like most of the time when you hear this stuff about low test or whatever, what these people aren't giving you any kind of real science, and they're not really trying to educate you. They're more trying to like freak you out about this thing that's not even really a problem. Testosterone deficiency in adults and corresponding treatment patterns across the globe. Let's see this one. It's from 2017, so it's 7 years old. It's not that bad. Hey, what's up, Angela? God bless, brother. Thanks, man. Thanks for joining. The prevalence of the global prevalence of testosterone deficiency ranges from 10 to 40%. Yeah, right. What a joke. These people are such a joke. Now these people are saying 10 to 40%. How dare these people? How dare these people come up with these ridiculous statistics? This thing is trying to say this too. I don't believe it, man. Or you know what they're doing? They're counting these old men. That's the thing. They're counting these men that are like so old. How can it be 10 to 40? Imagine 10 to 40. It's like you don't even have if that's your estimate, right? 10 to 40. Oh, sorry, I'm not even showing this tab. Look at this is their estimate, 10 to 40%. Or actually that was what those other people were saying too, right? Imagine that's your estimate. That's like you have no clue. You might as well, why don't you say 10 to 80%? Who cares? It's not telling me anything. I guess we're supposed to assume that you're right, that it's less than half or something. Oh yeah, no, we actually proved that he's a backloader last night, bro. You can check out. I made a video about it, but it's not gonna come out. If you look at the live stream from last night, we proved that he's backloading. Yeah, yeah. I know it's a big pharma scam, this whole low test, guys. When you hit 50, go to get testosterone injections and then meanwhile, like you got teenagers here taking Tren. Remember Grussie was saying about Tren? It's like, dude, it's just complete confusion and weirdness, man. But this thing, all right, this is kind of scientific supposedly, so let's check it out. The global prevalence of testosterone deficiency ranges from 10 to 40%. The actual diagnosis of TD is controversial. There's a wide range of total testosterone. Yeah, because this is what I'm saying. So there's different thresholds we might. So like, what do you think is the indicator of low test? Is it 200? Is it 400? Is it 300? A doctor in Russia will say 300. In America, they'll say 200. And in Finland, they'll say 400. And then also the fact is, like I was saying to you, some men have more androgen receptors, other men have less androgen receptors. There's all kinds of factors here. And so when they come with these ridiculous statistics, 10 to 40% around the world, that's meaningless. It's meaningless. It tells me nothing. Zinc, yeah, I heard zinc is good for those things, but I mean, I wouldn't more than 10 milligrams to make you feel good. Really? You can feel it? Wow, it's interesting. But even what you feel might be psychosomatic, right? But there's some scientific evidence for that, that it raises testosterone. But like I was saying to these guys, I don't think there's that much of a problem. I think that whole thing is exaggerated. They're trying to make men feel like they're not men and they're not as good as their grandfathers who fought in the war or whatever. When meanwhile, all their grandfathers just got tricked into fighting some stupid war for rich people. There are also significant global differences in the prescription patterns of testosterone replacement therapy. Yeah, that's true. That's the other thing. They want everybody to get it. This thing. This thing's not that good, man. I'm not saying no men should get it. There are probably some men that should get it, but most men, when they get a little bit older, you're starting to slow down a bit. Just you're all right, man. Just eat, change your diet, maybe do some push-ups, whatever. You don't need TRT and all this stuff. In the United States, prescription of TRT is significantly higher than the rest of the world, increasing threefold over the last 10 years, and more so in eugonatal men. The majority of treating physicians emphasizes clinical symptomology of TD over laboratory values, and up to one-fourth of their patients do not even have serum testosterone levels. There's significant interphysician. What's that? Serum testosterone levels. Anyway, there are significant interphysician differences in willingness to prescribe TRT in their setting of prostate cancer. That is scarce on testosterone prescribing patterns in Africa, Asia, and Middle East. More literature is needed. Who cares about that? Anyway, just tell me prove to me that there's some problem of low T, driven by an increasingly aging population. That's the other thing, too. That's the other thing, the population of most of these countries, especially in the West, is aging. So if you have an aging population and testosterone like goes down as men get older, then you're obviously going to have this lowering of the kind of total of the average testosterone level of the whole population or whatever, right? But that doesn't mean that we have some problem of low T or anything. The prevalence of TD varies between 10 to 40%. This is I don't even believe this, man. I really don't. Look, this thing, okay, look, this is their references, right? 1 and 4. So 1 is about erectile dysfunction and comorbidities in aging men. An urban cross-sectional study in Malaysia. So that's aging men in Malaysia. Okay. And then the other reference they have is prevalence. Can you guys see this? Or I don't know if you can see this or not. But anyway, prevalence of hypogonadism in males ages at least 45 years old. So once again, it's these men that are kind of past their prime, and they're not talking about young men here. I don't like, I swear this is just all just exaggerated. Because one thing, you know what? One thing, guys, like you have to bear in mind with a lot of this so-called science too, right? They can easily like massage the data and make it kind of say stuff that they wanted to say. That's the first thing, right? The second thing is these people are mainly funded by big pharma and those type of organizations, which they want you to buy their treatments and their different things like TRT or whatever. So they have this sort of built-in incentive to promote the idea that there's these health problems that we need to be treated for these particular health problems, et cetera, et cetera. So there's that aspect too to this science that we see here. That's why you never just like people will just come and show you this thing. They'll just show you this. And they'll say, look, testosterone deficiency in adults, and then they'll just make you think that that means that we have this major problem. But it's like this paper doesn't demonstrate that we have that problem, and none of the other stuff we've seen today has demonstrated that. And there's no evidence that we have some major problem of low testosterone whatsoever. So, okay, look at this one. Urology Times. Let's see this one now. This is another foolish nonsense, but let's see. Testosterone levels show steady decrease among young U.S. men. July 3rd, 2020. This is some nonsense, bro. I'm telling you, man. But we'll see. Maybe this is true. I don't know. Let's find out. The decline in total testosterone was observed even among men with normal body mass index. From 1999 to 2016, testosterone levels have declined in adolescent and young adult men, according to results presented at the 2020 American Urological Association virtual experience. Overall, male testosterone decline can be attributed to multiple etiologies. Etiologies are like the explanation or the cause of the thing, okay? The United States has an aging population with older males. So this is the first thing. Yeah, like I mean, this is what obviously this is one of your major things. If the whole population is aging and as testosterone goes down as you age, then an aging population is going to lead to lower testosterone in the total population. That doesn't mean that there's some problem of low testosterone. That's not demonstrated here, right? So that's the first thing. Remember these things, okay? Furthermore, overall population has an increase in comorbidities, including diabetes, which may cause this testosterone decrease nationally. Comorbidities, including diabetes. So because, like, for example, in America they have other health problems like obesity and diabetes and stuff, and those things will contribute to low testosterone in a patient. So the increase of these other problems has reduced testosterone to some extent. Okay, incoming this guy. However, most of these explanations for testosterone deficiency may be attributed to age. This time-dependent decline in testosterone has not been investigated in adolescent and young males. So let's see that testosterone deficiency has a prevalence of 10 to 40% among adult males. Remember this? See, once again, this 10 to 40%. When we just saw, like, first of all, 10 to 40% is a crazy spread where it's basically saying that they don't have a clue. And the other thing is that we just saw that this is not even that good of a stat. But anyway, let's leave it alone for now. And 20% among AYA men. 20% among AYA men? What? Therefore, Lokishar and colleagues hypothesized that serum total testosterone levels will decline in AYA men. All right. So where's the for controlling for confounders, including year of study, age rate, total testosterone levels lower among men the later 2011 to 2016 versus 1999 to 2000 cycles. P.001. That's not a very big difference. Mean total decreased from 1999 to 605, 2003 to 2004, 567, 2012, 424, 2013, 431. Well, okay. If this is legit, then maybe there's some kind of problem. But like I say, I mean, even that, man, we're talking about a dip from 600 to 450. So not it's like 150 out of 600. So like basically like you're losing like a quarter, let's say. Now, I don't know if I should ask this on stream. Who's this guy? Blocking lots of people and that may be classified as disrespectful. I don't think blocking people is disrespectful. It's actually not that bad because it's kind of a way to maintain respect because you think you can't interact with this person politely, so you just block them. I think it's okay. Elevated BMI has associated with reduced total testosterone levels. Yeah, well, that's the thing. So a lot of people there's a lot of these problems are related to other things. So they'll make you feel like, oh, the young men are losing the testosterone. They're all gonna be single losers playing video games at home and stuff, you know. But meanwhile, what's happening is due to these other factors, like the fact that they feed us all this garbage food, right? Now there's lots of obesity and other things such as that, and that will lower testosterone. And so, look, I'm telling you, man, what they'll do is they'll make everybody fat or whatever. They give everybody diabetes with all the sugar food, and then when those health problems lead to these other things, like a slight reduction in total testosterone, because there's so many guys that are overweight or whatever. Then they'll switch. They'll go, oh look, guys, look, we got low T. We gotta get everybody on TRT and get the guys on the trend and all this stuff. It's so weird, man. This is a bunch of just like it's just like a bunch of foolishness, bro.
Okay, 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 okay. I'm studying the Bible in Toronto. 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 Studying the Bible with Mike and Pat. These other YouTubers are just so trash. Hit the thumbs up if you wanna support. Go follow Mike as he follows the Lord. I'm studying the Bible in Toronto. 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 You better watch out, Mike's calling out the shields. If you're not free grace, you need to sit down and chill. We're not hyper grace, you know we keep it real. Eternally secure, you know that we're sealed. We don't back low, we're not workspace heretics. Mike's not in it for the money, trying to get a lick. They out here selling their souls for a couple clicks. Becoming Freemasons so they can't just get rich. I'm studying the Bible in Toronto. 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 Shout out to Mike and Pat. Check out his channel, Toronto Bible Study. Subscribe and like.